Should you go to film school? This is something that a lot of beginner filmmakers have to make, and it's a big decision to make. It's a big question that all filmmakers have to choose. There's this big question in the community that haven't gone, and the big question is it even worth it? Do you need to go at all? And could you even do it without the schooling? It's a big debate on people who did go to film school and who didn't, and who ended up making it in Hollywood, at least for my story. So, I did want to go to film school, and, I did have the thought of it, back during high school, but now I'm getting more into filmmaking, and I really want to do this, and this is something I'm very passionate about. For the last few months, I did end up doing some research on some film schools in my area and some programs and some online courses, and there's this really good one, which, I'll make a whole video about it another day. Basically, at the end of the day, it was very expensive, and it was not really worth it. It was hands-on training, but I decided not to since it was a huge price, and there's a lot of other factors, and basically at the end of the day it wasn't worth it, at least for that program. And there hasn't been something that I had been dying to go to. There hasn't been a program or a schooling that I've been dying to go to, at least in my area, at least around the world also, that I desperately need. There's plenty of other directors who didn't end up going to film school. Quentin Tarantino, his famous story, he worked in a movie store for till he was 30 or something. He didn't go to school at all. He was a middle school dropout, whatever, and he ended up making millions of dollars, and he's a big guy. He's a big guy in the Hollywood industry, right? But that's just one in a million. But there are so many that have done that who haven't done the film school thing, and they did end up making a big career in Hollywood. And, they just started making movies like Robert Rodriguez. He made his famous, his low-budget Mexico movie. I actually forget the movie's name. But yeah, he made that big movie. He did it on a $6,000 budget. It was a shoestring movie, but it ended up making a lot of money. And it went to theaters. I think the company bought it, and they distributed it out to the U.S., and that was basically his blow up in his name, and he made a career after that. So at least for me, I might go in the future, but it's definitely not something I'm looking at now. I might take some classes on screenwriting, because this is what I'm more focused on at the moment, is the writing side of things, and then also the director and the vision thing is also completely separate. But that's what I'm more focused on at the moment. So the pros of film school, what are some pros that you get if you go to film school? Well, I've done some excessive research and some autistic learning, and, watching every single video about it. But things people and students, you get to network with all these people, and you get to be around like-minded people, like students, people your age, and people that you want to collab with and make stuff with. And also people who are mentors, and they will give you guidance on how to make a movie and make short films and stuff like that. You have access to all this great equipment. They give you cameras and PCs and stuff for free. That's basically a good plus side to the whole thing. You get all this equipment for free. For me, if you're watching this channel, you do know that I just record on iPhone for most of my movies, and I have this little mic, and that's pretty much it. I don't do that whole camera thing. I'm not really big into cameras. I'm not big into expensive hardware or equipment and stuff like that. I'm just a very simple guy, and I just like basics. I'm not really crazy about really anything big, to be honest. Another pro is proper learning. At least for me, I'm learning on myself, and I'm doing research, and I'm taking courses online that are made by other YouTubers and stuff. So I'm just doing the cheeky ass low budget way of learning. This is my way of learning. I read books, I do courses, I watch YouTube videos, and take plenty of notes, and I add that to me. I take in that knowledge and I put it out into my writing and my director vision. But if you're not someone like that, and you have no learning and you have no training at all, then you get proper learning. You have proper teachers that you actually can learn from. You can learn from the best, or at least they say. You learn from people who know what they're doing, more or less. Not to sound discouraging or anything, but some of these people may not have ever made a movie in their life. They're just teaching stuff. And my film teacher in high school, he did commercials and a bunch of stuff, and he was actually a really good teacher. We ended up doing a newscast and the school news, and plenty of other short films in high school that I ended up losing. But he knew what he was doing. He had some experience, and he had 50 years in that field, so he has the right to talk about that. Now I want to talk about some cons of film school. One of the major things, and this is what everyone says, it's very, very expensive. It's a lot of money, and it's very, $80,000, $100,000. It's a lot of money to put down, and it's a huge risk because, a lot of people, they have that college fund, and that's all they have. You might not have that, and you might be paying that off for a long, long time. It's not like a career where you can make money right away. you have to learn and build experience first. So you gotta keep that in mind if you do plan on doing like the expensive film school route, like, you know, UCLA, they do a bunch of things. They're very expensive as well. It's just something to keep in mind. And another con of film school, you know, you're not doing what you love. So, you know, you want to go to film school to be a filmmaker. You want to make movies and you want to be on sets and you want to be doing the action. A lot of it, if you're doing the 4-year route, is you're mostly in the classroom and you're not doing what you love. You're doing writing essays and, you know, you're doing all this work that you don't want to. You want to be out in the field, you want to be doing the work, and you want to, you know, make movies. And a lot of that isn't what that is. It really just depends which film school you go to, but most of them won't have this ability where you're able to go out and make movies all the time. And a lot of them is like, that's the last thing you do. You make like your student film, which is like a short film that, you know, you do, but that's at the end of your 4-year route. And then another con, which, you know, it's kind of a scary one, but you kind of end up with nothing, or you could. You know, it's a very high chance that, you know, you have this diploma and then, you know, you get some jobs and, you know, it's fine. You might get some commercials and stuff, but it's not what you want to do. You want to make movies, you want to make TV shows. And a lot of people who do go to film school, and, you know, it's kind of a scary thought, you know, 95% of people who do go to film school don't end up doing what they want to do. And, you know, they end up taking that risk, they ended up taking those loans out. And at the end of the day, they don't have anything that they're wanting to do. You know, they might be doing some commercials here and there. They make some horror short films that, you know, might seem okay, but, you know, at the end of the day, they don't really like doing it because they really want to make that really epic movie in Hollywood, but they didn't get the chance. And they just kind of end up like that nobody. And they do want to end up somebody, but they didn't get that chance. And it's kind of a scary thing, but it's very true. You know, they end up not fulfilling their dreams, but they went to film school either way. So it's kind of like a big, like, letdown. And that's something for me. So, you know, obviously I want to keep making movies and stuff. And at the end of the day, like, you know, I did end up watching a lot of videos and stuff. And I did end up watching this one YouTube short that kind of changed everything. So it was a short, I can probably put it on screen here.
Be a director. Pick up a camera, shoot something, no matter how small, no matter how cheesy. Put your name on it as director. Now you're a director.
Make a movie every week and work with actors, work with a little 1,000 watt lighting kit, shoot a little scene, cut those scenes together, then go out and make another picture the next weekend. Make films, no matter what anybody says, and you'll be a filmmaker.
Start making movies is my advice to anybody. If you want to be a director, direct, make a film, show it to somebody. There's no other way to do it.
A young person wants to express themselves and take a video camera and go out, they're going to find that they have to frame the image. And in framing the image, they're going to find that they have to interpret what they want to say. You need to know how ideas and emotions are expressed through a visual form.
There's no other art form that has this kind of situation. You can think all you want and you can dream up great shots in your head that no one else has ever come up with, or you can do anything like that. But until you've actually done it, you don't know if you've got what it takes to do the job.
And basically they said, people asking them, how do I make a movie? And they basically just said, why not just do it right now? You have equipment, you have stuff, you can make movies right now. You don't need to go to a film school or anything. If you have that ability and you have the knowledge and you know what you're doing, you can make a movie right now. You can post on YouTube. This is what I'm doing. It kind of changed my view of the business and changed my view of film school, because this is the point where I was looking into film school and I really wanted to get into that because I wanted the network. I wanted the proper knowledge. But now realizing that I can just make movies on YouTube and, you know, I can network my own way, and this is my way into it. You know, Joel Haver did it. Many other YouTubers did it. Quentin Tarantino did it. Robert Rodriguez, they just made movies and, you know, they just made it just for them. But at the end of the day, people saw that and people saw their ability. They decided that they could be a proper candidate to make bigger movies in the future. Basically, if you could just make a movie now, then you don't need film school to teach you that. You can just teach yourself and you can teach your own way. You can find like-minded people along the way to help you. You can find actors. You can have your friends help you in your movies and stuff. And you don't need to go to some $100,000 film school for 4 years to, you know, make a movie that's, you know, you want to make, basically. And with the beauty of YouTube is such an awesome thing. You can do so much on it, and it's taken over the whole world, basically, you know. So if that answers your question, then that's awesome. And hopefully, you know, I have fun with it. You know, hopefully I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to see where it leads, I guess. If you want to do a free call with me about your scripts and your screenplays and your short films and stuff, if you want advice for that, a link is in the description. If you're new, subscribe. We talk about, you know, short films, filmmaking, other stuff. And hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.